Good morning, everyone. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have a review for you guys of the Atari VCS 2600 prototype game, Garfield. Or Garfield on the Run, I think is the other, more long title for it. Don't know exactly, who worked on developing it or when, though I would imagine it probably went unreleased for the 1983 industry and market crash in the North American market. At least that's one that I would attribute a lot of them to. Anyway, it's a game where you get to play as the lazy, fat orange cat Garfield. And, well, it's pretty fun. I've actually played it and through emulation so far, and it's actually a pretty good game. It's close enough to being complete that, well, I'll say it right now. Seems like a shame it wasn't released. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fire up my Hyperkin Retron 77 and we'll take a look at some gameplay. Here we go. $1984, okay, yeah. I had looked at that before, so since it would have been 1984 approximately, yep. 1983 crash. Darn. Okay, so you basically don't even use your joystick except for to change the direction Garfield is moving. And you jump from fence post to fence post. Oops. Forgot about the flower pot. There you jump to get the burgers. Which, I always thought of burgers as being an interesting choice because, well, Garfield's thing was always lasagna, so maybe it would have been a bit tough to actually graphically design lasagna for the Atari VCS 2600. I'm not sure. Okay, here with Odie, which he doesn't look too bad, but kind of a giveaway on things. Well, dadgum, I forgot about that. He will lick you if you get too close, try to pass the roof while he is up. And, of course, pots can be deadly too, potentially, and this is normal. This is one of the part of the game that doesn't make sense to me much, because with normal, Garfield hates normal, so why do you get a huge point boost for getting normal? . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And of course, this part right here, I figure, is part of where they were still working on. We're still working on finishing up that aspect of the game, because why were there two screens, and one where Garfield's mouth opens when he jumps and one where he doesn't? Didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, here we are. That was a game over, so we're back at screen 1. If I weren't talking, you would probably, I probably would have missed all those little hazards. Actually scored quite a high number of points on this prototype game in the past. You've got to be kidding me. She managed to pass Odie with no problem. Come on. But yeah, I could have seen this being a game that would have been a seller back in the day had it been released, because, well, maybe not so much today, but back in the 80s and all, and both through comic strips and TV cartoons and stuff, Garfield was actually a relatively popular character at the time, so especially among kids. So I can see where, this would have been one that, if it had been released, it likely would have done pretty well. So, I mean, it's not a long game here or anything. I mean, Garfield's just going around doing basically stuff that Garfield would do. Well, maybe not all. I mean, like I said, hamburgers instead of lasagna kind of, that's kind of away from what Garfield would be about. He'd probably much rather it be a lasagna, but then again, he'll eat anything, so why does it matter? I can't believe that that one came up like that again. I mean, seriously? Other times I play this, I've always managed to miss Odie after I figured out that he's supposed to be a hazard. And yeah, anyway, the joystick controller just controls your direction of movement, while it's the action button or fire button which actually gets you to move. And you just jump forward, or if you decide for some reason you want to go backwards, you can turn around and go backwards. It doesn't matter. It's a pretty simple game. I mean, I consider this to be kind of, an adventure platformer or something like that, because all you're doing is moving Garfield through the environment he usually would, doing things that he probably normally would. Obviously, there are some things in the game which are probably designed to be generic cat things, more so than specific to Garfield and his universe necessarily, but it's not a bad job. Garfield mostly looks like Garfield. Odie looks a lot like Odie, though I would say they could have stood to refine that quite a bit. This looks like a fence with a fence post with a background and a starry skyline behind it, and a horizon, and grass in the yard. Most part, it looks like what you get to pass for a Garfield game, I guess. It wouldn't have been a bad game at all, and like I said, it's I wouldn't say it seems to be too far from being complete. I can imagine this part right here, you could sit there and rack up points like crazy just by going back and forth eating burgers. As a matter of fact, I've done that. You can even stand still there and wait for burgers to come from both directions and get points for it. Ha! Got past it. Anyway, I'd forgotten this game was had a 1984 on it. It was unreleased. So... kind of love how that, Garfield will make that giant, mouth gobbling with him because that's about what he'd do in most of his incarnations. Come on. It's just ridiculous I can get past this stupid little... Here we go, Normal again. Again, I don't know why they made it where you have to rescue Normal, of all things, since Garfield despises Normal. He was always trying to nail her to Abu Dhabi or something else, or him. I think in some incarnations, Normal is male, some female, but... that part right there is one of those that kind of tells me the developer probably was either getting super uber creative or did not know Garfield as well as they should. I guess the other thing I'd say is, the anime graphics and animation for the pixelation all is not bad, but Garfield's eyes do kind of remind me of, looks like he might as well be asleep. Though that kind of makes sense for Garfield as a character, so not a big point of complaint. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, so I guess you guys get the idea with the gameplay there. I think I dragged that one out for a minute, yeah. Okay, so that was Garfield, or Garfield on the Run, in apparent, what would have been a 1984 prototype game for the Atari VCS 2600, and like I was saying during the gameplay, it's a shame this wasn't released. Garfield used to be a fairly popular character. This would have sold, so... well... Anyway, my preferred YouTuber, High Retro Game Lord, also has a nice video featuring this particular prototype game, so I will go ahead and leave a link to that down for you guys. Anyway, you guys, if you enjoy my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down below. You guys take care, have a good morning, and I will see you again in my next video.